Yo, what it do? Sorry, it's been a couple of weeks, guys. So it's been a bit hectic for both of us. And obviously, it's only us two running things at the moment. Still trying to look for if there's any other fans that are trying to get involved with the podcast. Give us a shout on the socials, 6/20 podcast. Without further ado, obviously with my faithful guy Matt. You telling me, bro?
It's good, man. It's good, man. World Cup's been great, man. I can't even lie.
Yeah, no, it has. Little disclaimer: the delay is all Matt's fault, guys. As I said, send all death threats and violations towards his phone. If there's any complaints, please, I can pass numbers, emails, whatever. He's not on the socials like that, so you have to get him directly. But I can put you through in it. Like I can be that guy in it. But in terms of football that's being played, it's been as much as I didn't really want the World Cup to happen now. It's been a lively World Cup, man, full of shocks, full of small teams looking organized, full of big time players stepping up to the plate, and as you saw even yesterday, opportunities to youngers for Portugal. What's his name, Ramos or Ramirez, something like that.
Ramos, yeah.
Ramos, yeah, came on, little Hattie, and yeah, man. Obviously, so much has happened. Where do you even begin, bro? Let's talk about the teams um, that came first and second in their group to start off with. So we know in Group A, um, Netherlands and Senegal got through. Was that a surprise to you? As much as I've been rooting for Senegal, I was surprised that they popped through because Ecuador were looking good, man.
Yeah, same. Especially after the opening game. Obviously, Ecuador had Enner Valencia scoring goals. They
Mm.
gave the Netherlands a lot of problems. I was very shocked that Senegal managed to beat them in the last game. Koulibaly obviously getting the winner. Um, and one thing I've noticed a lot with the African countries, a lot of them countries cannot defend. Like the defense is horrific. It's some of the worst pieces of defense I've ever seen in my life, bro. And ultimately, that's been the downfall of most of the African teams, apart from Morocco, which we'll get onto. But nah, Netherlands didn't convince me completely throughout the
No,
group stage. I thought
no, hit and
they
miss,
were a
yeah.
bit average in the group stage. Maybe it's just the way they play, but they don't like. I know Cody Gakpo has scored a few goals. Memphis wasn't fully fit, which he is
Mm.
now. So
I mean,
maybe
they only
that.
they only conceded one goal though. They're looking
Yeah, no,
defensively, looking quite good.
the back three with Ake. Ake has been brilliant in this tournament, by the way. Ake, Van Dijk, and Timber, they've been solid, and the goalie as well has been quite good. So I guess at the end of the day, bro, international football is just about just getting the result, man. Just get the
Yeah, but,
result.
but as you said, for me, you win a World Cup by having solid defense, man.
Yeah,
We see that. I think the best example of that was probably Spain, man. When they won it, they scored like what 6, 7 goals.
yeah,
So they needed, fam. Like solid defense, yeah, wins you cups. Good attack wins you a game or two. But solid defense wins you trophies, and as you said, that's the issue with the African teams. But then, even saying that, they do shoot themselves in the foot as well. Ghana again missing their penalty again. They couldn't break the curse. Suarez is still there. Happy to see him cry though at the end because there were some mad results happening. That's what I'm saying. This World Cup's been lit. Like in terms of like everything, especially in that third, like every team's third game in the group stages. Yeah, almost every team had to win to get through. That's lit. Like that was exciting to see. Like every game meant something. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Even England, and they started the game. They hadn't lost the game, but they still needed to pretty much win that one to show things up. So yeah, man, I think this as much as I've not liked the World Cup, like the stuff around it, but you know what, we're just gonna concentrate on the football. I've enjoyed the World Cup. I haven't been able to see as many games as usual because of the timetable and stuff, but seeing the results and the games I have watched, man, it's been live, man. It's been live. We'll jump to Group B. Obviously, England, USA popped through. I thought the England USA game was interesting. USA looked quite well structured in that game. But then again, England. I did think England played poorly. I don't know if they were just resting or what, but we saw a different England second half against Wales. Bearing in mind, obviously Wales and USA drew as well, so there wasn't really too much to split between them. But when I watched USA, I thought, to be fair, USA kind of clear of Wales. I'll be real. So I'm surprised.
Mhm.
Credit to Wales for even being in that game like that. What do you
Mm.
think though? Did you pretty much anticipate England USA, or do you think Iran could have sneaked it?
No, Iran heading into the tournament had like a defensive legacy kind of thing going on, and like everybody was talking about how solid they are defensively, how much difficulty it is to how difficult it will be to break them down. Obviously,
Then they
their
conceded
legacy
six.
was yeah, their legacy was kind of shot in the foot with the first game, but then apparently I was hearing stuff like in that game they were missing a couple of their players in midfield, so we should
Okay,
expect
okay,
to see
fair
a
enough.
different. People say yeah, we should expect to see a different Iran against Wales and USA. And to be fair, we
We did, we
did.
did, no, we did, we
Um,
did.
they were
Especially
much
against
better against
Wales.
Wales. Wales were just not up to it in this tournament. I just think the whole sort of like anticipation of Bale's last World Cup and Ramsey and
Oh,
just that
Ramsey was awful, man.
just that group, they just weren't up for it
I'm,
this time
I'm
around.
seeing, I'm seeing why Ramsey couldn't hack Juve, bro.
Yeah, I don't know, but it was just
He's
Wales
lost
just
it.
weren't. Yeah, they just weren't up for it. Iran obviously, they had a chance against USA in the last game, but I always did back USA to pull through because I think USA probably should have beaten England as well, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, they should have. They should have. They had
Um,
the better chances, though.
yeah, that's their problem. USA in the final third, they're just not
Yeah, they haven't really got any known
great.
finishers. I mean, when you're relying on Pulisic for goals, it's peak.
Yeah, like, but not even just him. Like the striker, like I think his name is Wright.
But we are.
No, I mean, where's he plays up front, but he's not really like a nine like that. But they have this other nine called Wright, and then in the last 16 game, the manager started a player who didn't even play in any of the group stage games. So they up front they are lacking in sort of quality, and also as well another thing I realized with USA is none of their players strike the ball well. Like, and where I was able to identify that was in their set pieces. It's Pulisic taking their corners. It's Pulisic taking their direct and indirect free kicks. He's the one that's in control of the dead ball situations, and his
Man
ball
even took the goal
striking
kick.
is his ball striking is far from his best attribute. And we all know set pieces are a big they can be a huge asset
Yeah, 100%.
or a huge liability in tournament football. So that
100%.
is also a problem for them as well. But overall, though, they did okay to get through.
No, I hear that. I hear that. I would agree with that. And yeah, they did okay. They did good to get through. A lot of people weren't expecting USA to do much because of the way they've performed in previous competitions. Cheeky fact though, England have never beat USA in a World Cup.
Yeah,
Surprisingly though, because to be fair, I remember last time England played USA and Robert Green fumbled it.
I
Never
remember
saw him
that.
again.
Clint Dempsey scored, I think.
Yeah, yeah, never saw my man again. Still, but no, we move. Group C was interesting, man. Because Saudi Arabia started off with the win over Argentina, but then Poland and Mexico. I don't know, man. I thought Mexico were gonna be a bit more than that, man. Kind of let me down still, the Mexicans, because I know they. I don't know. I mean, I know they only lost by like. I mean, they only didn't qualify by a goal difference, but like, I just thought they would have been the ones to come second. I was surprised by Poland because for me, I think Poland they don't have any. And obviously they got Lewandowski, that's cool, but they don't really got that kind of team where you're like, yo, Poland could be dangerous here.
Mm.
Um, but with Mexico, there was quite a few promising talents from Mexico. I just thought they would have been offered a bit too much, but is what it is. Argentina topped the group as many would have expected. With the FIFA simulation thing, they've got Argentina to win the World Cup. They actually said that Argentina were going to get 6 points in the group as well. So that's funny.
Hmm.
But yeah, what do you think, man?
Oh
Who
yeah, this group, this
grabbed
group
that?
was this group was juicy still. Obviously, it started off with the Saudi Arabia upset against
Hmm.
Argentina, which that got people. I think that was the first sort of thing that grabbed the attention of people during this World Cup.
Oh,
And
100%,
obviously
100%.
afterwards, I don't know if you've seen, but there was like this sort of mini documentary on like the manager's team talk and how he was telling the Messi he was telling the players that yo, you lot see Messi get the ball and you're looking at him like this. Bro, get close. He was like, get close to him. He was like, you lot are looking at Messi like you want to take a picture with him while he's on the ball trying to get past you. Like,
Moving like
he was like,
that
yo,
Ghanaian coach, your son.
get. He was like, yo, get close to him, and they did very well to beat Argentina. Argentina were looking really average in that game, and you could see it because I watched the game against Mexico. Before Messi scored, they looked like it looked like the pressure was getting to them. Like you could see that they were really under pressure because if
I
they
mean, to be fair,
didn't
there was 4 offside goals as well. They were quite close.
against Iraq, I mean against Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I know, but even bro, like scoring offside goals, that can be like disheartening because it's like, yo, when are we gonna like bust case kind of thing? So in yeah, against Mexico, they were like really, they were really, you could tell that they were really sort of nervous,
Yeah, you
and
can see the
obviously,
nerves. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and Mexico in that
Mexico
game,
didn't
yeah,
capitalize, man.
bro, Mexico's job in that game was to just frustrate Argentina, bro, and I'll give Mexico credit for 65 minutes. Argentina did not look like scoring, bro. Like Mexico just wanted to get a. This is what I think Mexico wanted to do, yeah, because they drew the first game
Mm.
against Poland. They wanted to frustrate Argentina and draw the second game, and then go all out in the third game and try and win. And to be
Mm, mm,
fair,
mm, mm.
it,
It didn't
it
work.
it's not the sort of like the best of sort of strategies, but until Messi scored, they really looked like they could get a 0-0 in that game. And obviously Messi, it was a big moment for him. In my opinion, I know people are saying, "Oh, like with these players, we expect them to do this, we expect them to do that." But bro, if you're gonna sort of view things like football and sport like that, then you're never going to actually have appreciation for the moment. Whenever a big player steps up, don't just look at it as, oh, we expect it. Nah, like still sort of revel in the moment that he had, because that was a huge
Yeah,
moment.
no,
And
that was a good
if
goal, man.
if Argentina do go on to win it, I would look at that goal as like one of the sort of turning points for them in the tournament, because after that they were playing a bit more relaxed, a bit more with ease, moving the
Yeah,
ball
yeah,
better.
yeah.
And
100%, 100%.
the last sort of, after obviously Enzo Fernandez scored the goal, it was actually that game that has sort of contributed to the lineup that the Argentina manager's playing now. He's not starting Lautaro anymore. He's not starting Tagliafico anymore. He's not starting Paredes anymore. Instead, he started Alvarez from City now. He's starting Acuna at left back, and he's starting Enzo Fernandez in midfield. So that game has actually been the
Yeah, no, I
reason
hear
as
that.
it's been the sort of the reason for the lineup he's playing now. So give credit to Argentina. Poland, as you said, just when you just look at a team and it's like, where's the actual threat? Like, because even against Saudi, bro, Saudi should have panned these lot. Saudi were missing so many chances, like,
Mm, 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 mm.
and obviously Poland capitalized. They did what they had to do, but I think did Chesney save a penalty against Poland?
Yeah,
No, against
for Poland.
yeah, against Saudi.
Yeah,
I
he
think he
did.
did.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, he
yeah,
did. He stepped up.
yeah. Like,
Stepped up.
but I don't know, man. Poland were a bit just, and against Argentina, bro, did they even like they? It's almost like they played as if they'd already qualified, and Mexico could have easily, if Saudi didn't score that goal, Mexico could have qualified.
Yeah, no, 100%,
So
100%.
yeah, Poland. I wouldn't even know if I'd say Poland were disappointed. They were just, I don't know, bro. They were just, they're just Poland.
Must have did this really. Nah, to be fair though, credit to them because they still got through.
They still
Good
got
for their
through. Yeah.
nation. Obviously we know they didn't progress much more after that, but we'll talk about knockout in a bit. Group D then. Group D was also another one that surprised me, mainly because of the poor performance from Denmark, man. Um, I don't know what happened to even win a game, bro. Like this was a Denmark team that got to the semis of the Euros. Like they were coming off a hype. Had players in there, and even in the Nations League, they've been playing well. Their friendlies, they've been playing well. Like I thought Denmark were gonna definitely come second and even have a chance to top the group because winner France can sometimes just look poor. But then all we know from down under nowhere, the Aussies, bro, these kangaroo these man just jumped on their thing and said, "Yo, listen, cool, yeah, you man are counting us out already, but nah, bro, nah." Like yo, we're gonna get this thing. 2 wins, bro. And against Denmark, Tunisia. Come on, man. Like, I know it's not like, oh my gosh, like Spain, Germany, but Tunisia beat France. I know France played some very questionable team. Guendouzi and left back. Say no more. But end of the day, like big up to Australia. I gotta big them up. I gotta big them up because when I saw them against France, I know they scored first. It was a nice goal. But then when France beat them up, I was like, yeah, Australia are gonna come, definitely come last. And then they've just done that. So I mean, this World Cup, man, is lit. Yeah, man, it's good to see Australia get through to the knockout, man. What do you think about that, man? Group D.
Denmark were the Turkey of the Euros. I remember before the Euros, everyone was having Turkey as their dark horse to
Gassing
win.
up Turkey. Yeah, yeah. No, I
And
remember that.
it's the same. It was the same with Denmark before this World Cup. Like a lot of people had like their sleeper team was Denmark and so on, and they were just
Mm.
disappointing. Like there's no other way to sort of say it. They just didn't have that same zip, and they weren't playing with the same confidence that they played in during the Euros. I think, and to be fair, and I know obviously the Ericsson situation was like a near tragic situation, but the irony in that is I think that that incident actually spurred them on. It gave them sort of a new lease of life in the Euros, and I think that's what sort of propelled them to make that the push in the Euros and get to the semi final. Not I think they beat Belgium on the way there as well. So you know, not to say that they needed something like that to happen again for them to like really do well, but I just think when they had the expectation on them, it probably just weighed on them a bit too much, and they didn't perform. Even though they were a bit unlucky to lose to France in the dire moments of the game. Australia, like you said, did very well to get through. I'm sure there would have been a lot of people's picks to finish last, along with Tunisia
Mm.
maybe. People probably had Tunisia favoured to finish ahead of them, but they did well. They were very resolute defensively, as much as they did lose 4-1 to France. But besides that game, they were quite good defensively, and they did well enough to get through. Tunisia, to be fair,
Yeah, no,
you
they
know
were
they
good defensively. All their
yeah
goals they conceded came to France.
yeah you know they beat France. France did start a questionable lineup, but one thing I realized in this World Cup is no manager sets a team out to lose, because the danger with losing is that could set a bad precedent. So
Mm.
even in that game, although Deschamps started a very questionable team, you could see he brought on Mbappe in the second half to try and save the game. So France was still trying to go for it. I think Griezmann got a goal, but they ruled it out. I thought that decision was shocking, by the way. That I thought that was a goal. But Tunisia, it was an inconsequential loss. France went through top of the group, and Tunisia didn't.
Yeah, pretty much that. Interesting fact as well with Tunisia. Guess how many goals they scored?
Was it not one?
One, bro. And they
Yeah,
got
it was
four
one.
points. They scored one goal and got 4 points, bro. And guess how many they conceded?
Was it one?
One, bro.
It was one.
They conceded. They
Nah,
scored one and conceded one.
that's
All their
funny.
games were dry, bro. All the games were dry. How you scoring one and conceding one? That's it. And you still managed to get 4 points. Fair play. Like if in other
Yeah,
groups you're going through, you know what I mean? Like just
yeah,
Australia turned it up out of nowhere. I bet when Tunisia beat France, they were like, "Oh my days, we've done it." But then they would have thought Australia beat Denmark and be like, "Nah, come on, man." With our one goal, nah, that's killing me though. I just thought that was a funny fact still because I've never seen that before. Never seen that. Group E though, Group E has a nomination to be the best group in terms of the first stages of the World Cup, man. Japan, Spain, Germany, Costa Rica. It was madness. How am I seeing Spain slap up Costa Rica, but then I'm seeing Costa Rica beat Japan, and Japan are beating Germany and Spain. Oh, bro, it was madness, bro. And again, Germany fumbled it. 2 World Cups in a row. You're not getting to the knockout stages. Surely your status has to go down. We can't just keep saying, "Oh, it's the Germans." No, bro, not anymore, bro. I'm not. Nah, G. You got 100 in Euros as well. Like it's not Germany are not that anymore. They've run not that. And except for Musiala, I'm not really seeing the young prodigies come. into the German side, looking dangerous as well. But they have the talent, man. They got Gnabry, Sane. Muller was awful, but they got Muller. I just don't understand. Kimmich was awful as well. Like, it's mad, bro. Musiala was the only player stepping up to the plate. Man, that's his first World Cup. Ridiculous.
Mm.
But shout out to the Japs. For me as well, that goal, the ball didn't fully cross the line. You can clearly see if that was on the goal line, that wouldn't have been given as a goal because the whole ball didn't cross the line. So I don't know why people are saying because of this angle, the ball's out. The ball was not out, bro. The whole ball did not cross the line. It's not rigged. It's just facts. So ended
To be fair, certain angles did look like it had, but I
yeah,
get
but
what
the
you're
best
saying.
angle to go by is bird's eye
It's the
view, and
bird's
the
eye
bird's eye
view.
view clearly shows that the ball's not fully over the line. So this chat about it's rigged nonsense, man. Japs deserve that goal, and big up to them, man. 'Cause I bet Germany are hating Spain right now. Then just to see Spain fumbling, yeah, we'll get into that. But yeah, man, Group E, bro, lit, man, lit. What's your take on that?
Yeah, no, I think every team lost. I think every team also
Yep,
won a game.
yep,
Um, I don't think was okay. Costa Rica were the only team that had less than 4 points,
yeah, yeah.
but nah, it was because, like you said, after the first game, although some people still were sort of conscious enough to be aware of the fact that it is Costa Rica, a lot of those players that they have were the same players from 2014. And even in 2014, those players were like 25, 26 years old. So 8 years on from that now, a lot of those players are in their 30s. Brian Ruiz is like 37. And people wrote them off. But then they beat Japan, who had beaten Germany. So, the group was, like you said, it was very interesting. Contender for group of the tournament. Um, I think for me, Spain, obviously, we're going to speak about the knockout stages afterwards, but I'm not sure if I think I must have said it on here in our last show. The problem with Spain is whenever the game gets out of their control, whenever the game gets outside of them keeping the ball, they are in trouble. And we saw that against Germany because they were in control against Germany for about
Mm.
65 minutes. And then all of a sudden, they started to capitulate. Um, they bring on the striker, the number 9. That I know he has an interesting story. I can't put my finger on where exactly the story is, but it's quite interesting. He scores, and then you're watching the game, and you think Germany should actually go on to win this game, and that's the game that I think Germany will be kicking themselves for. I know they lost to Japan or
You
so on,
reckon?
but
'Cause
against
against
Spain,
Japan, that first half they had bare chances.
no, you're right. You're right. But there can be an allowance on the first game. Sometimes in the first game you can get a shock. The opening game shock.
Yeah, no, I
But
hear that.
against
Risky.
Spain in that last sort of 10-15 minutes, they should have won the game. And obviously Costa Rica, they actually were losing at one point, bro. Like they were up
Oh.
1-0, and then they conceded 2 goals, and it looked like Costa Rica were going to be the ones to go through. And then obviously Japan came fighting back against Spain. And I told you another thing about Spain's weaknesses. The fullbacks, Busquets off the ball, and the
I knew he was
keeper,
gonna say
bro.
Busquets. I knew he was gonna say
The
Busquets.
keeper, the
Bro, Don
keeper, bro. The
Simone, bro.
goalkeeper. That first goal, I'm sorry. Save it, bro. Save it. I don't care. Save it. And I heard someone say this online, like when you want to talk about the ball crossing the line and stuff, when you realize that Germany were literally millimeters away from progressing through to the knockout stages, bro. That's what the ball crossing the line was, bro. It was literally just on it by millimeters, and that's football, man.
Yeah, that's football, man, down to the finest details, man. But then again, Germany should not have to be relying on some VAR ball going out of play to even be progressing through. So for the Germans, them there, bro, can't lie, man. It's peak for you, man, innit? But still got the Nations League, guys. Still got the Nations League. That's probably your level now. But yeah, man.
The Nations League is like the Conference League of international football, bro. We're trying to be very hear that.
Is it even Conference League, bro? It's Carabao Cup, man. It's Carabao Cup, bro. I'm not gonna lie. No one's bothered about Nations League, G. No, even some of the players. I think Kevin De Bruyne was saying it. Like he was saying, like, "Oh, I can't be asked for this thing. I can't be asked for this tournament." Like no one takes it seriously. It's just year. It's just friendlies with a title on it. That's all it is.
Yeah.
And I don't know, but that's another topic. But let's talk about De Bruyne real quick, because I can't lie.
Wait, is
Um,
that the next route?
no, no, no. Actually,
Let,
yeah,
let's let's get
it
to
is. No,
go
it
to the next
is.
route,
Group
right?
F.
Cool.
Yeah. Group F. Obviously Morocco, Croatia, patterning it. Morocco topping the group, man. My Africans, come on. Um, Topping the group, 2 points clear as well. No loss, couple
Mm,
wins. Only conceded the one goal. Like, yeah, they were doing bits, man. They look solid defensively. And obviously we'll talk about the knockout stages again, looking solid again. Croatia, you know what you're gonna expect for Croatia. I thought they were gonna get through regardless. I didn't think they had the best of group stages, but I knew they were gonna get through. It's Croatia, man. They played well, man. Like they don't play amazing, but they play well enough to get something out of games. They're never getting slapped up. You know what I mean? Like you don't see Croatia lose 4-5. No, you always see Croatia in the game, either
yeah.
drawing or losing closely. They're a very good, very good talented nation. Um, but yeah, man. Obviously, Lukaku and the boys went home, bro. Lukaku was missing sitters, bro. Like he could be playing musical chairs and he still would not get a seat, bro. I don't understand, man. I don't understand. Three, not one, three under plate, buffeting. Everything's there for you, bro. And you miss 3 times. And I've been having this debate with my friend, yeah. He's trying to convince me that Lukaku is a better player than Giroud. No, bro. No. And his argument is because he scored more goals at Everton, and Everton's a weak side. I'm not hearing that, man. This Lukaku brother's a fraud. 100 million. 100 million. Morata would have scored those chances, man. And you've sent your nation out. And then Kevin De Bruyne, you got Kevin. Apparently, the Belgian players, some of them took their own planes back, bro. The chemistry in there is bad, man. Even
Mm,
the Bruyne literally said, "Yeah, we're not winning this. We don't have the quality. This is supposed to be the golden nation.
yeah.
They're ranked first, bro, in the FIFA World Cup rankings. They're first. I don't understand where they talk about they don't have the quality. Well, what did you think though to Group F?
Well, first of all, just in response to what you said about the rankings, I've never paid attention to FIFA World Rankings. They're always very dodgy to me. We don't understand what the grading criteria is. How much does a streak of friendly wins count for? How much does qualifiers count for? How much does tournament performance count for? We're not privy to this kind of information. So I don't know. The rankings always are very dodgy. In terms of Belgium, I've always felt, and this is not like some sort of reactionary take, but I've always felt that the so-called golden generation was a bit overrated. And I think it was overrated because a lot of the players that were considered to make that golden generation played in the Premier League. Obviously, the likes of you had Vertonghen and Odwairu at
Spurs,
Tottenham.
yeah.
You had Fellaini, De Bruyne, Lukaku,
Tielemans,
Hazard. Who all played in the
Tielemans,
Premier
all
League.
that.
Obviously, Tielemans as well coming through. Like, don't get me wrong, it's a good team. They've got good players, but when I think of golden generation, I think of generational players, and unfortunately, not all of them are that. But besides that, though, he threw his team under the bus, KDB. Um, and Vertonghen responded because I think KDB started it by saying that like some of the defense is like the team is too old, and then I think Vertonghen responded by saying maybe the attack they're not scoring goals because the attack is too old. But look, they're all old. Um, but that's not an excuse, really.
It's not an excuse. This old chat, bro. These men are moving like they're 39, 40, bro.
Yeah,
Relax. Pepe's
exactly.
39 scoring headers, bro. Like, come on, man. Don't give me
and
it's too old.
and this is because don't get me wrong, yeah. I'm not saying that De Bruyne is not a good player, but I do think though in football media he is overrated, and I think he is criminally overrated. And the reason why I say that is because he's considered to be like people are putting him in conversations for the best midfielder in the Premier League, like of all time. Um, but my thing with it is he's not really a midfielder. Like he's an attacking midfielder. De Bruyne in Man City's team plays. He's in the last line of attack. He's not involved in the build-up play. He doesn't do the things that traditional central midfielders do. he's in the last line. He's the one either making the pass before the goal or he's the one getting on the end of the pass for the goal. That's an attacking midfielder. When people talk about David Silva, who is also an attacking midfielder, they don't talk about him being one of the best central midfielders. But yet, with KDB, they do. Um, and that's not to say he's a bad player. Of course, he's not a bad player. He's a great player, but he's overrated in that sense. I think in tight spaces, he leaves a lot to be desired. Um, I think even sometimes, like, and this is me nitpicking at the highest level of football, but sometimes his sort of ability to play on the half turn sometimes can be questionable. So these sort of little things that make the really top midfielders, I think he falls short in. So not to this is not just based on what's happened at this World Cup. I'm not surprised at what's happened at this World Cup. He's never carried a team. A lot of people think he's been carrying Man City. There was a season where he got injured for pretty much
Yeah,
most of the
just
season, and they still won it without him.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Even
that's true.
the 2020-21 season, so the part COVID season, it was actually when he got injured that they began the run that eventually led them to win the title. So he's never carried Man City. Pep doesn't usually allow his teams to be one man teams, so that wouldn't even just be possible anyway. So you know,
No, no, I
disappointing
hear
from
that.
them. Hazard, as soon as Hazard said, I saw a quote. I think
I
this
know
may have
exactly
been
what you're gonna say.
this may have been before the World Cup even started. Hazard said he's not the same player he was. So I just assumed, you know what, Hazard is he's not the Hazard I knew him to be. So I don't expect him to even start here. Hazard literally said, the things I used to be able to do, I can't do anymore. Like it's just a shame. Like I just like physically, I just can't do it.
Yeah.
And so once a player admits that he's basically not the same player, we as fans have to just accept it as well. And it is what
Yeah,
it is. Some people fall off earlier. It happens.
yeah. No. How
And yeah,
he
Lukaku.
started over Trossard was a myth.
Yeah, Trossard should have been starting. And yeah, Lukaku. Uh, let's wait. Can we let's talk about the misses. Okay, so the first one was like that right foot one where the ball sort of dropped him with like a sort of semi-open goal, and then he had a defender in front of him, and then he's kicked it with his right foot and he's hit the post. Yeah, I would say, you know what? Because it's on his weak foot and
Oh
a
no,
defense.
bro,
No, no, no,
don't.
no, 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 no.
Oh
Wait, wait, wait.
no,
Hold on, hold
bro.
on,
I don't
hold
want to
on.
hear
Wait,
this
wait, hold
weak
on.
foot business,
Hold on, hold
bro.
on, hold on, hold
You're a
on.
professional footballer, bro. You
Wait,
don't
wait,
have a
hold on,
weak
hold on, hold
foot,
on.
man.
Hold on. I would like not ordinarily. I would say because it's on his weak foot and he has got a defender in front of him, it is probably harder than it looks. But for the profile of striker that he's supposed to be, he's got a very. For the second one, I think it was the one where the ball has actually crossed the line, but he didn't know, and it fell to him on his head, and he headed it over. I can't like that one for me. That even though the ball had gone over the line, he still has to score. Like he didn't know that it went over the line, so put it in the net anyway. Um, the third one was that the one where like the ball sort of hit his body and he wasn't quick to react. See that? I don't know, man. I mean, he was
He's
like,
a fraud, fam.
he, I felt sorry for him after the game, man, because
Bash Murray outscored him this tournament.
nah, man, he was because, bro, like I said, yeah, I was telling my brother this the other day. There's nothing I like. Don't get me wrong. I don't know the feeling, but I can sort of imagine. There's nothing like letting a country down. It's one thing to let your club, but a country, like a nation, bro, and you,
Yeah, yeah.
bro, it's different.
Country is different, man. Country is
It's
different.
different, man, and
Set man
bro,
have been killed for laying down their country. You get me?
yeah, bro, and
Country's real.
you
But yo, listen,
miss
we
some.
got because obviously there's a lot we need to chop up. There's a couple groups left. Got Group G and Group H. Group G pretty much went how I thought Group G would have went. Brazil and Switzerland going through.
Yeah,
Both with the 6 points. Cameroon though, they beat Brazil. There's a good game, man. It's good for them as a nation. Samuel Eto'o predicted that Cameroon would win the World Cup. There you go, bro.
of course
And I
he's gonna
heard that,
say that.
and he's in a bit of a sticky one now because he need a fan in the face after an altercation. So he's getting looked under now. The Cameroon FA president's not looking good for him. I'll be real. You gotta let if somebody's saying to you something to you to obviously wind you up, yeah, you gotta let it slide, bro. End of the day, you've done more things in your life than them. Like they're paying to watch players do what you did for a living and pay for it. Why are you letting the comments get to you that much? Just to the point you're grabbing a fan and kneeing him in the face, bro. This is not
Mm,
GTA, my guy, bro. There's repercussions, fam. You're representing the whole nation as well.
mm,
Long day, but big up to them for getting that win over Brazil. Obviously, I know Brazil pretty much. I don't think they were in fifth gear. Or, they're already basically through.
yeah.
They look like a third gear Brazil. And then obviously my guy Jesus, man, 3 months, bro, surgery. This is the last thing I wanted, man. Every single player has patterned it, and what happens? Our main striker, of course, gets the 3 month injury. There's
You,
bare
you,
players in
you,
the
you know
Prem on the World Cup.
the weirdest thing about it is it's not even like he was getting overplayed.
This is what I'm
Like
saying, bro.
he's not even he's played like before that Cameroon game. I think Jesus had played like
He
30
came off the
total
bench a
minutes.
couple of times.
Yeah.
He didn't start nothing, bro. Because
Like,
Richarlison was looking like the threat, which I understand because, like, in terms of finishing, he's a better finisher than Jesus. But like, it's just irritating, bro. It's irritating, G. Because now, if Arsenal do not do a mad thing in January, it's Fids. We're coming sixth. We're
mm,
coming sixth, unless I mean I heard that we might be able to get Joao Felix, but that's another chat for another day. Uh, but yeah, we need that kind of similar play to Jesus still. But then again, if we go for a goal scorer, then I don't mind as well. And then having Jesus as a second striker or as an option on the wing sometimes. So I'm gonna try to stay positive. But yeah, Group G pretty much went how I expected it. Um, yeah, happy that Cameron got the wins. Obviously, Serbia didn't get any wins. Mitrovic didn't really do nothing. I thought he would have grabbed a couple headlines, grabbed a couple goals, but it didn't happen for him. Still, did he score? Serbia actually,
he did. He did. He scored against Cameroon.
Serbia scored the most goals in the group.
Yeah, because they drew 3-3 Cameroon and then they lost 3-2 to Switzerland.
Yeah, they scored the most goals in the group, but then they conceded the most as well.
Yeah.
So that's what happens, isn't it? That's what I'm saying about the attack. You can score big goals, but if your
Yeah.
defense is shaky or your organization is shaky, you're not doing anything. And then lastly, Group H. H was obviously I knew Portugal were gonna top the group, but I did think Uruguay were gonna come second. It came down to the last day and South Korea edged it. Um, I didn't really want to see South Korea edging nothing, to be honest. Ghana man, from the minute Inaki Williams slipped to their World Cup was over. Let's be real.
But bro, the two turning points for me in that group were that slip and the Uruguay Portugal game, because I think that game determined who was going to really like sort of top the group. Because Uruguay, they probably should, like, based on the chances they had, they probably should have won that game, to be fair. And obviously we spoke about the Ghana Portugal game the last stream. So but yeah, Portugal made it through. South Korea, I don't know how they beat Portugal in that last game, because the goal that, do you see the goal they scored to that Hwang Hee-chan scored in the last like few
I didn't
minutes?
even see it.
Bro, Portugal literally committed so many men forward as if they needed to win the game. It was mad confusing.
I didn't even see it. I'll have to check that out. I don't know. Maybe the coach said, "Listen, I want to be the only team in the World Cup to get 9 out of 9." So
Maybe. I was even surprised Ronaldo played in that game.
listen, we'll
And
talk about Ronaldo
we'll
in the
speak
in the
about him.
knock
We'll
in
speak
the in
about
the
him.
knockout stages. Yeah, we'll talk about Ronaldo in the knockout stages. But in terms of excuse me, the group. That's what the groups. Morocco actually had the Morocco and England, but the only teams to have got more than 6 points. So big up to them. Good achievement. Obviously, round of 16 happened a few days after, and nothing too surprising happened in the
Mm.
round of 16. I think just the Morocco getting through was probably the biggest the only upset. Everything else was pretty much the team you expected to win. We'll start with Netherlands, USA. Netherlands 3-1, pretty much a comfortable win for them. Um, I knew USA would get a goal, but I didn't expect them to do anything. I'll be real.
Probably the dodgiest goal I've seen in the tournament, bro. Like, that guy did not mean to do whatever it is that he did, bro. Like, it was a touchy goal. But
Hey, Pulisic scored, didn't it?
no, it was the striker, right? He scored. It was so dodgy. Pulisic had a 1v1 in like the first sort of 5 minutes, and at this level, you have to just take every sort of good chance you have, and
Yeah, no, 100%.
he didn't take it, and
In the
Netherlands
World Cup.
picked them apart the way they should, because USA, to be fair, overall they're really just a Gatorade, like they're really just a Gatorade team, bro. They're just high energy, high intensity, high pressing teams, man. Netherlands just picked them apart in
I
Van Gaal
love
fashion,
that
bro.
they're a Gatorade team.
But another thing on USA that I've seen, right? Because I'm really into the NBA, and I've seen a lot of like the media, the sports media outlets in America, like they've been doing a lot of propaganda in terms of like the potential of this USA team, and saying, oh, like, you know, this team, like the average age is like 22 or something. You know, in 2026 when USA do host the World Cup, you know, Pulisic is going to be 27, Tyler Adams is going to be 26, Aronson is going to be this. They're all going to be like in their primes and stuff, but they're not looking. I think they're looking at it from a very sort of American sport
Yeah, of
lens.
course.
In
Yeah, yeah.
football, this how the group of players they've got now, this might be the best they ever be, bro. They may not be better than they are now at 27. I would be very surprised from the way Pulisic's career has gone with the injuries that he's accumulated in the last 2 years. I'll be very surprised if Pulisic is better than he is now at 27, and he's their best player. So you can't be relying on the future and doing all these things. You don't know what the future holds. This was the time. This was when you had to sort of make a bit of noise in the World Cup. And to be fair, you made it past the last 16, but don't be relying on players to just improve in like an expected sort of trajectory in 4 years' time. It does not work like that.
Yeah, no, 100. I mean, obviously, as an American, you're gonna be biased in it. You're gonna big up your own. And do they have that understanding of football? The American media, no. So what do you expect? Like these men saw Pulisic score and was like touchdown. So I don't know. I don't.
Nah, but to be fair to him though, he really Captain America in it though, because bro, he got himself injured to score that goal that took
Yeah,
them
yeah,
through.
yeah. No, just
So fair play to him.
Captain America and that. Someone called him the LeBron James of the
Oh gosh, the LeBron James of soccer.
How can he be LeBron James? He hasn't even played. He hasn't even started 10 games in a row in the Prem. You would call him LeBron James? Not even 10 goals, 10 starts. Come on, man, relax. Americans love to hype up their own too much, but I do want to see more of this Reina guys. Though I want to see what
He
Reina's
didn't
saying.
play. He didn't play a lick in this tournament, bro.
Yeah, bro,
The
what happened,
manager
bro?
did not fancy him at all.
I thought he was supposed to be a generational thing.
You know what it is with him? I'm telling you, bro. Because they're like their identity is intensity and running, and he doesn't fit that, bro. That's why he didn't play him.
Is it? Did he
He's
play
not.
for Borussia
He's not
Dortmund?
a runner. Like if
What
you
club
look
is
at
he
their
at? Is he at?
midfield, yeah, they had,
Is he at Dortmund?
yeah,
Yeah. Sorry, Karen.
they had McKennie, Musa, and Tyler Adams in midfield. All very
Runners, just runners.
runners, bro.
Man
Like
had 100 meter sprinters in the midfield, basically. But no, credit to USA though. They got through. They gave their fans something to cheer about. Fight and win. So they'll take that, man. They'll be happy with that. Moving on though. Um, we'll talk about Argentina, Australia, and then we'll talk about Netherlands versus Argentina predictions for that. Argentina, Australia, 2-1. Australia, man, they were close. Like, uh, again, man, putting in a good fight for the Aussies, man. Like, big up Australia, man. Big up to you, man. You man had a good tournament this time. But last tournament, you man got smoked. It was peak. But this tournament, man, you guys looked credible, man. This time, man. You look good, man. Yeah, and Argentina, obviously, they clutched it. To be fair, but it was tight, man. That should have been a comfortable game for them. You know, you expect to see a 3-4-0 here, but no, man. Australia kept things close. Big up to them. I didn't get to watch the game, but obviously I saw the stats and the talk about it and the highlights. But big up Australia, man. Big man thing. I don't know
yeah,
if you watched that game.
yeah. No, I did. Bro, the Australian manager before the game, yeah, it's so funny because the way he was talking about the game, it's as if he was getting ready to play a rugby match, bro. Because he was talking about how physical they need to be. Like he was like, yo. We need to be physical, like physicality is it. Like we need to get into them and stuff. And I was thinking, yo, like, this guy is not getting his team ready to play a football match. Like, don't get me wrong. Not to say that there's no physicality in football, of course there is, but it just seemed like that's all he cared about. And to be fair, in the first sort of 30 minutes, that was what it was, bro. Like they were getting in Argentina's players' faces, they were putting them under pressure, they were dispossessing them, and I think Argentina only had one touch in the penalty box of Australia before Messi scored. And to be fair, like I said, like this is what you want your big players to do in like the deadlock situations. It's kind of is what Mbappe is doing for France, obviously Messi for Argentina, and the reason why, like obviously, because people say, oh, but what about England? What about Spain? What about other countries like the Netherlands and stuff? Is because in those other countries, like they have multiple guys that could sort of
Yeah.
turn up for them. In Argentina and France, if we're being honest, Mbappe and Messi are really sort of only two that are like that is expected of them. And so
Oh, Dembele's been doing alright though.
yeah, he's been okay. I mean, he wasn't great against Poland, but he's been okay overall. But when after Messi scored, you can tell that. But that's the problem with Argentina that I've sort of noticed is that it's like they need one goal.
They need a goal. Yeah.
Yeah, to get them going. Besides the Poland game against Poland, they dominated Poland for fun. But and obviously Messi missed a penalty, which we didn't talk about, by the way. But yeah, just to say, side note for that penalty, brilliant save by Chesney. But I would say Messi needs to score your penalties, bro. Like
Tell him to watch Ronaldo.
he needs to, bro. If he starts watching Ronaldo, he may end up on the Argentina bench, bro. But we were getting to that. We were getting to that. But nah, he needs to score the penalties because, bro, penalties like they're at this level, they're can't misses, bro. You can't miss them. Like they could be really, you could really pay for a missed penalty. But nah, besides that, in the Australia game, obviously Messi scored and then Argentina were feeling comfortable. Alvarez scored as well, coming in for Martinez. It was supposed to be a Martinez and Messi, Batman and Robin thing. That hasn't worked. Alvarez has come in and has stepped up so far.
Alvarez is the guy, man. He's looking dangerous, man.
Bro, at the end of the day, sometimes you can plan something. If the plan doesn't work, you throw it out the window. Lautaro came on, and bro, this guy was just missing chance after chance after chance. I was like, yo, how many times do you want Messi to plate you, like before you're gonna pick up the spoon and eat the food, bro? Like this guy was he was missing, bro. I was so
What do you expect,
shocked.
bro? He's been training with Lukaku, fam.
Oh, mate. Bro, before the World Cup, it was supposed to be this guy and Messi. They were saying Messi needs a wingman. Everyone was saying, yo, it's going to be him. And obviously, it's not worked out for him. And that, I think the missed chances is what makes the game look closer than it was because, like, Australia still managed to stay in the game. They got, like, another dodgy goal. That, like, bro, that shot was going into, like, row Z, bro. And somehow the deflection has diverted it towards goal. And then that left back went on that run. My guy turned into Messi for like 1 minute. he went past like bare man, and then Lisandro Martinez, my guy, with the clutch block, bro. And then in like the last few minutes, there was this guy called Kuo that Newcastle have signed. I think he's like 18 or something. And he had a chance in the last minute to take it to extra time. And Martinez, the goalie, made a great save. So in the end, the game seems closer than it was. It really should have been 3 or 4-1. Martinez should have put the game to bed, but you have to do what you have to do. Netherlands, Argentina quarterfinal should be a great game, to be fair.
Yeah, man. Talking about that, what's your predictions for that game? We don't do score line because of time and stuff. We'll just say who's going through. Who's qualifying to that semis, man.
Bro, that's hard, man. Because I want Argentina to go through, even though I don't think they'll win it. But I want to see that Argentina Brazil semi.
Because of how I'm going off like how teams are performing in the World Cup. I think Argentina are going through. I just feel like Netherlands are just you can't be struggling against Ecuador and then not looking convincing in any of the games, even against Senegal. Like they left it late. Like they're not looking convincing. They're looking defensively. They're looking solid, but I can see Argentina just grabbing that one goal, keeping the ball well, tidy. Netherlands not really being a threat. And another thing about Netherlands is, apart from De Jong, they have no midfield. Their midfield
That's a good
bang
point.
average. And I just feel like Argentina will dominate the game. They'll find it hard to break Netherlands down, but I reckon Argentina will grab a cheeky ones, win 1-0.
Yeah. Outlook. I'm gonna say Argentina to win. I want them to win. Obviously, Messi got his first knockout World Cup goal. I think he needs another one because as like just as a side note again, it was so weird to me that Messi or Ronaldo hadn't scored a knockout goal in the World Cup like before this year. Like that, that's just one of those weird stats that just lie around. It's just like I don't know. It doesn't sit well with me. Like how can how can neither of them have not scored a World Cup knockout goal? Like that's just weird. So but I think even though he's got one now, I think he needs another one, and it should like as much as you have to beat who's in front of you. Netherlands are, they are a credible opposition, and Messi should be looking to score in that game. Even though all that matters is that they get through, but if you can score in that game, it'll be good for him. But I want that Brazil Argentina semi, bro. So I'm going to say Argentina. But with Memphis now in the starting lineup for Netherlands, they're they look a bit more fluid. So we'll see, man.
We'll see. But thing is, Netherlands haven't really been tested yet. This is their first test, and they might fluff it.
True, true,
They
true,
might
true.
actually fluff it. Then you can argue and say Argentina haven't really had anyone serious as well, but and they haven't done the best. So yeah, be interesting one. Moving over though to the other side of the courts, got Japan and Croatia. Obviously, that went to penalties. The Japs, a lot of people were rooting for the Japs. I was rooting for the Japs as well, man. It was nice to see them. I thought they're quite technically good on the ball and they were doing the right things, and I thought they were having a good tournament. But as I told you, man, Croatia's just that side where like you're not slapping them 3-4-0. Like the game's going to be tight,
Mm.
and end of the day, Croatia have come through it, and they deserve. You could argue and say they deserve to go through because they're quietly getting business done. They're quietly getting business done. I know it was on penalties, but you have to score your penalties. And the Japanese were poor on those penalties, man. Goodness gracious, they only scored one.
Mm.
But I don't know if you watched the game. I didn't get to watch that game, to be honest.
Yeah, I was at work, but I managed to catch the penalty shootout. I think I took a break at work to watch the penalty shootout.
Oh yeah.
Bro, not gonna lie, like the penalty shootout was disappointing, and this is where like the ability to strike a ball well is such an underrated sort of skill in football because sometimes that's what penalties comes down to. Like who can connect with the ball purely with direction.
Mm.
And the Japan like Minamino and Mitoma's first two penalties just weren't good enough. They were weak penalties. Like they looked like penalties taken from players who had been on the pitch for 2 hours. That's what it looked like. Heavy leg, tired legs. And ultimately, Croatia won. But I wanted to ask you this here because that game got me thinking, right? So obviously, with teams like Croatia and like Argentina, I was going to use Portugal, but then they dropped Ronaldo in the last 16 game. But with teams where their best players are like sort of 35, 36, 37, you saw with Croatia, the manager had to take Modric off in extra time. So these teams where their best players are old, are they gonna have to be taking off these guys in extra time, bro? Because you want those guys to take penalties as well. So
Oh,
what
but
is
do you
the
though? Do you want Modric? Do you want a tired Modric to take a penalty? Because remember, when you're physically tired, yeah, you start acting mentally tired, and you
yeah,
start doing the
yeah.
wrong thing. You know what I mean? So it depends, innit, how you look at it. Me preferably, I would not want my 36-year-old midfielder who's ran for 110 minutes to take a penalty.
But then what's the alternative?
It's ultimatum either way. That's just my
I know, I
preference.
know, I
I
know,
understand.
but
I understand why managers make changes for penalties. Because at the end of the day, we don't see what they see when they're in training. They're seeing the players who are consistently slapping their penalties, and they're like, "Okay, cool, I'm gonna bang you one." And then it doesn't happen. It doesn't work for you. That's just football. That's how it is. But as a manager, you have to make a calculated risk, and I understand why you would put someone who hasn't kicked the ball on a penalty. End of the day, I don't hear all this business about he's has had enough touches. It's a penalty, bro. It's a penalty. It's 12 yards out. I don't. You don't need to have. You don't need to be playing football for 20 minutes to be able to take a penalty. You should be able to come off that bench and take a penalty. I'm not hearing. I don't know when people say, "Oh, he hasn't touched the ball. That's why he." No, bro. No, no. Some players, their first touch is a goal. So what? In
Nah,
harder situations.
nah, I hear that. I think I just brought up the point because like I remember when France lost to Switzerland in the Euros last year, and Benzema, obviously the game went to extra time, and Deschamps had to take Benzema off because he had no more legs left, and then obviously in the penalties they missed two or they missed one or two penalties, and so obviously if Benzema was able to play the whole extra time, he would have been a penalty taker, and he is a reliable penalty taker. So just those kind of things just being factored in, it's like I don't know. It'll be interesting to see if Argentina have to go to extra time. I doubt they'll take Messi off. I can't see that.
No, it's
But
not going to take Messi off. And Messi will take a penalty too.
the thing is, if you won't take him off, can he then become a liability on the pitch because he can't move? Like because
Yeah,
that's
but
what Modric
as
was.
we
Modric's legs
as
were
we've seen
rotten.
in but Messi just walks though. Realistically, he just walks,
But
scans the pitch for about 50 minutes, and then starts playing.
but the thing with those walk-ins though is he with those he's walking with a purpose. He's walking to eventually be able to do something when he does get the ball and when the time comes in extra time, bro. Because he would have tried to be doing that for 90 plus minutes. By the time he gets the extra time, when he gets the ball, he won't have the legs to do anything anymore. That's
I
what
don't know.
that's
You know,
like. I don't
I've
know,
never
man.
seen I've never seen a fatigued Messi. And have I ever seen Messi get subbed?
Nah, he was tired against Australia, bro.
I didn't
them
watch the game,
Australia
so
man, them Australia man wore him out, bro. Bro, he couldn't even celebrate, bro. He was knackered.
no, I hear that. I didn't watch the game minutes, so I don't know, but I hear that. But no, obviously it's gonna be Brazil and Croatia. Brazil beat South Korea 4-1. Yeah, Brazil played well that game. To fair, some of their goals were quite nice actually. And I thought they controlled the game. It was very comfortable, very easy for them. But South Korea were never going to be a threat. I can't lie. I thought Son had a very disappointing tournament.
Mm.
Um, and maybe I don't know. I'm one of Son's critics. I can't lie. He's a good runner with the ball, but and a good finisher from outside the box. But does he really offer anything else? For me, no, man. I don't really see Son as a top 10 striker. Like when he retires, I'm not gonna look it back and be like he was an impeccable player. I don't get that with Son. Yeah, he scored some nice goals and he had one season where he's got golden boot without a penalty. That's great, but like I'm not turning around saying Son was top tier striker. I don't know that. Maybe that's just me in it. I don't know what you think.
Son's only attributes: he's quick and the guy can finish. Those are his only two attributes. Everything else is below average. And that includes his passing, by the way. And obviously his finishing as well. That goes that coincides with his ball striking and his ball striking ability because he can take good corners and good indirect free kicks and stuff. But nah, I know people are gonna say, "Oh, but did you not see the pass he gave?" Because he actually made a good pass to Hwang Yi-chan to score the goal against Portugal to take them through. But overall, though, you're right. Like he's just his Son's finishing with both feet. That's really what puts him
And
in
pace.
and his pace. That's what puts him in certain convos, and that's what makes him effective. But if you know what he is, you know what he is. In terms of Brazil, obviously it was a samba show in it. Like these man were dancing, and I loved it, bro. Like I don't know why Bear Man were acting grumpy about the team,
Right,
and
Roy Keane. Roy Keane's an old little
you
waste man,
didn't,
bro.
the baddest
It's
thing
the
is
World Cup, G. What you want them to win
see
4-1 and be like, yeah.
I didn't see who the pundits were before the game because I started watching it like 5 minutes in, and then when I saw who the pundits were and it was Graham Souness and Ray Keane, I was like, oh no. They are not gonna have anything
These
positive
men
to
are
say.
so old fashioned, bro, man. You're as a country, you've just got through to the quarterfinals, yeah. You're allowed to do anything you want. I'm sorry. This are players over celebrating that they've just won. What, bro? Let them celebrate. They're human beings, G. they're enjoying the moment. Like, I don't understand. These men would go out to the club, yeah, and then be like, "Yo, why are people dancing, man? They should just
Bro,
be having their drinks, sitting down, and having a conversation like we did back in the '60s." Like, bro, relax, man. Let people enjoy themselves, man. Listen, I'm an Arsenal fan. I don't want to see Richarlison celebrating. I'm not gonna complain about it. He's scoring goals for his country and getting through to quarterfinals, bro. He's going to celebrate. I'm not gonna write a whole script about how the celebrations over the top and how it. Yo, it's just miserable, man. You know what? Yeah, big man thing. When England, if England win the World Cup, yeah, the other way any England fan to celebrate as a way of respect for Roy Keane. They should just all do that.
you know
That's
what
it.
the maddest thing is, like with that game, it was making me feel a bit nostalgic because I remember as a kid growing up watching football and like playing game consoles and stuff.
Mm.
I remember like even watching football as a kid, like watching real football. One of the reasons why you wanted certain people to score was because you were looking forward to seeing their
Their
celebration,
celebrations,
and
yeah,
that's something that has actually sort of died. Like I'm trying to think, how many men right now have a celebration? Like not many men have a celebration that
yeah,
I
yeah,
actually
yeah.
want to see all the time. And so Brazil
It's
doing
just
the
knee
thing,
slides, man.
yeah, it's just knee slides and like Brazil doing the thing, Paqueta and getting the manager involved. Bro, it was vibes,
Yeah,
man.
that was vibes, man. That was vibes. That was vibes. I don't know. I don't know what the hate's about, but obviously time was eluding us, so we'll move on quickly. Obviously France, Poland again, routine win. I didn't
Mbappe.
expect Poland to do anything. Mbappe, man, is on it, man. But that touch from Giroud
Yeah,
when he brought out the air on his weak foot and just opened
yeah.
up the play, fam. Lukaku's not doing that.
No, hell no.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like the different when I say he's technically better, like he offers you so much more up front. We know this because last World Cup, man, didn't even bag, but he's getting assists, he's linking up, and they've won the thing, and he's
Yeah.
started every game. You know what I mean? But that touch, bro, and the fact that he didn't just bring it down, he brought it down and opened the play to the player he wanted to pass to. That is
Mm.
ridiculous, bro. That's ridiculous. And the ball was behind him, and he's running forward. And without that touch, they don't even score and the game's tighter than it is. Poland might grab a late minute equalizer. You don't know. That's football for you. But mad, mad, mad. But Mbappe, yeah, I can't lie. He's for me. Been the best player of the tournament.
I agree. I agree.
So yeah, we'll move
Uh,
on quickly. Huh? What was you gonna say?
No, I agree. Nah, because obviously coming in, no Pogba, no Benzema, no
Mm,
Kante.
mm.
You're. I mean, everybody says, you know what? France are probably the only team that could miss those three and still survive. Like, but in surviving, they need Mbappe to rise, and so far, that's what
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
done.
yeah. If bro, big man thing. If Mbappe had got injured mid-season before this World Cup and he missed the World Cup, France probably wouldn't even be in knockout stages right now. Let's be real.
Yeah,
Um, and his finishing, especially against Poland, man.
yeah, no, different.
Yeah, different gravy, man. Different gravy. People are saying, can he do it in the big stages? This is the second World Cup he's doing it now.
Mm.
Ridiculous. Yeah, obviously England 3-0 Senegal. It was a conflict of interest. I want to see certain players do well for England, but I wanted to see Senegal as a nation go through for Mane. But let's be real, I didn't expect Senegal to actually win that game. And I did think it'd be a comfortable win for England, which it was in the end. Happy to see Saka scoring again. Obviously, as an Arsenal fan, it's good to see. Um, yeah, I feel like Southgate picked a better lineup this time. Henderson was a surprise, but I do think Henderson brings that intensity in the midfield with his experience as well, a bit more, and his passing range. Because obviously, you got Bellingham, who's going to be more like driving at you and they're playing those 1-2s where Henderson's is a bit more direct, and sometimes you just need the bit of difference in midfield. You don't because when you play Foden and Bellingham, you kind of get a bit of the similarities with them. But I do,
Well,
I
in
would,
terms of them wanting to go forward.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But I thought Henderson's more just disciplined and he'll keep his shape a bit more, and he'll with Henderson, I feel like he obviously he's more of a leader and he gets players involved a bit more.
Mm.
Whether that's keeping the ball in midfield or recycling it, where Foden is more just, yo, I've got the ball now. I'm trying to link up with the attackers. That's it. But I would still prefer to see Foden, Bellingham, and Rice in that midfield. Uh, but yeah, man, Bellingham's been doing bits, man. Only 19. I know he's been strongly linked to a lot of clubs right now. I think Liverpool are leading the race. It'd be interesting to see what happens. He's definitely not staying at Dortmund. I know that Dortmund do not hold on to players anyway. So, man, every player that knows when you go Dortmund, you're doing well with Dortmund. You're leaving in the next year or two.
Yeah, bro, Dortmund
It's
is a
actually just a
platform,
stopping
bro.
gap.
It's a platform. It's a trampoline, bro. That's what Dortmund. You literally you go to Dortmund to jump and go up, bro. Like literally, they just bounce you up. But nah, you know what? Because I've realized with Bellingham, and this isn't like a criticism in the slightest, but like before, you know, the little bits I've watched of him before, I thought like he was more so in like the Pedri Gavi mode, but he's not like them like that. Like he's like he's more like a Gerard kind of, just without like he's like Gerard, but without like the dead bull specialism kind of thing. Like he's more
Yeah,
so
yeah.
he's almost like a better version of Jacob Ramsey from Aston Villa, and people shouldn't take that as a criticism. But for me, what that tells me is he would suit Liverpool more than anything.
Yeah, yeah. Well, like if he goes if he was to go to City, he wouldn't be allowed that freedom that he has now that we see from him.
I just don't
I
think
feel
I don't think he'd be technically good enough to play for City.
no, technically, I think he would be.
I don't know,
I
man.
don't look
Like
at him. I don't look
against
him in that midfield and feel like he's a bit out of his depth.
not that he's out of his depth, but with the kind of players that like that City, because obviously De Bruyne plays advanced, and then they play either Gundogan and Rodri, or Bernardo and Rodri.
I can see Bellingham replacing Gundogan and doing having the same effect.
But I don't think he can do what Gundogan does on the ball though. Like, because I can't lie, against USA, I was looking at him like kind of sideways, because in the half turn in the
Yeah,
attacks phase,
he had a poor game against USA.
yeah, he weren't doing it against USA. Against Senegal,
One out of four will allow him.
The game opened up against Senegal. You know, he was making runs in the channels and stuff. I think
Yeah, but
that's
that's what he
more so.
prefers. He prefers open games because in the Bundesliga, it's basically basketball, isn't it? Just
Yeah,
end to
yeah,
end.
and
Things
that's
are
what he'll
open,
get at Liverpool. At City, where it's a bit more sort of pass
controlled.
and
Yeah, and
move,
I hear
and
that.
I
In
don't
that
know.
sense, I agree with you. In that sense, I agree with you. In that sense, I think he would do bits at Arsenal as well. To be honest, especially with the obviously the campaign we're doing now with the youngers and that. I think he would do bits
Playing what in Xhaka's position.
in Shaka's position. Yeah, box to box. I think Bellingham would do bits, man.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
could.
But obviously, that's a different topic for a different day. I got Morocco, Spain, probably the most interesting one with the knockout stages. Going to penalties, Spain's missing every penalty. It's a World Cup, man. You have to be practicing your penalties.
Bro, no ball strikers, bro. Busquets, for as amazing as Busquets is in that sort of regista position, receiving the ball, passing the ball, you know, dropping the shoulder on people, ball striking has never been a strength of his, bro. That guy can't strike the ball to save his life. Like, and I mean, strike the ball in a shooting sense, bro. That penalty was weak, bro. Weak. The goalkeeper could have dived the wrong way, recovered, and still saved the penalty, bro. That's how weak that pen was. Sarabia,
What do you
bro.
think? Do you think it's the nerves, or do you think they just the occasion was too much for them in that sense, or I don't know, like
I think with the way some penalties have been taken, apart from Messi's penalty, which I just think was a great save, a lot of people are taking these penalties hoping the keeper dives the wrong way,
dives the
bro.
wrong way, too much
That's the
caution.
problem.
You know what they're
And
doing?
that's
They're watching the goalkeeper too much, waiting for him to commit.
yeah. And
And
for
then
me,
if the
you
goalkeeper
can't.
doesn't commit, they've shagged it.
Yeah, and it's not the safest way to play. You should pick a corner, commit to it,
And slap it.
and
Bro,
slap it.
you're 12 yards out. If you slap this ball, there's no way the keeper's getting it. And you should be able to slap the ball in the corner from there. There's no way bro, I'm telling you, at Sunday League, I've seen better penalty takers than these world-class internationals, bro. Because man get the ball, they pick a spot and they slap it. I've seen top bins, even blasting it down the middle is sometimes effective because as soon as you're blasting that ball, that keeper's like, yo, I have to guess. So I don't understand this side foot penalty business. I don't like it. I don't like side foot penalties. Like
Nah, it's been weak, bro. Like, because even when I look at the penalties that have been scored, like even Ronaldo's one, Ronaldo picked the corner high in the top corner. The guy and the keeper went the right way, but he couldn't get it. Look at Bell's one against USA, went the right way. It was too powerful for him. So
exactly, bro.
just pick a spot.
Just slap it. Just like the Euros last year. No, last year? Yeah, last year. We saw
Yeah,
Harry Kane and Harry Maguire lace their penalties. And then we saw
yeah.
Rashford, Saka, and Sancho all do this side foot business and they all missed. Stop the side foots, man. Side foots are for passing, bro. They're for passing. You shoot with your in. I
Or
mean,
you can,
bro,
to
like,
be fair, you could do what Ziyech did, which was just go down the middle, just bank on the keeper trying to dive and go down
and
the
slap
middle.
it.
Like,
But nah, I think Hakimi's goal was cheeky, man.
yeah, yeah,
Man chipped it and then he did the Sergio Ramos celebration.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Oh, that was man sent the country home and did the the old captain's dance.
Apparently,
He's
he was
fucking
born in Spain as well.
Hakimi.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hakimi's a baller though, but that's the nerves, bro, to just think it. Because if you miss that, Spain might get on a hype thing, and then you don't know what happens. You don't know what can
Mm,
absolutely.
mm.
We've seen shockers and penalties, but yeah, Spain, man, absolutely shot themselves in the foot, and they should have put their game to bed. Let's be real. Let's actually be real. I know Morocco had their chances. Actually, Morocco
Yeah.
could have put the game to bed as well.
Morocco had two
So
on the ones that they missed.
yeah,
Yeah.
Morocco could have, especially that gun. I can't remember his name. He's cutting. He's used his left foot. The whole of the goal is open. Man kicks it into the goalkeeper's foot. Goalkeeper didn't even need to dive. He just fell on the floor, bro. I don't
Trust
know,
me.
but obviously, end of the day, Morocco are not gonna care. I've seen their fans running, celebrating on the streets. I love that for them. But they have a they have a massive, massive test.
Yeah,
Portugal,
I
man.
did. Yeah.
Portugal, who slapped up Switzerland. It was a calculated risk to leave Ronaldo on the bench.
Was it?
Ronaldo, yeah, of course it is, man. Because like, end of the day, he's always been playing, and they've always been. He's always been. Nah. Listen. Let's just pause from this podcast for a sec. Yeah, in a footballing sense, I do feel like we're being so disrespectful to Ronaldo. Like he's given us so much. Like the last 20 years of his career, he's given us so much. Yeah, and I feel like now we should be protecting him, man. We should be looking after him. But no, as football fans, we're cussing him, we're violating him, we're mocking
Okay.
him.
Okay. Wait. Let me
I
ask you
don't,
this.
no, hold on. Let me finish. I don't rate it. I actually don't rate it because 5 years ago, man, man are riding him hard, and now because he's 37, you're still expecting the same thing. I don't rate it. We should be
Let,
protecting him, man. We should not be violating the guy.
let me ask you this.
Uh,
You said we should be protecting him. So wait, would protecting him mean that Portugal should start him? Is that protecting him?
no. I mean, fans reacting to him like I
Okay.
see. There's a lot of fans seeing him on the bench and be like, "Oh, he's washed. Oh, he's dead. Oh, he's envious of the squad. He's jealous. He's bringing toxicity. He's bringing bad vibes. All this stuff. No, none of these fans are in the changing room seeing what Ronaldo could be saying or doing. Man, no one actually knows what gone.
No,
But
no, but
people
Kings,
see
Kings, you know
the
what needs
media.
to.
Also, the media is bad. You know, the media took a picture of when Ronaldo was looking a bit gloomy, and they said this was his reaction after the first goal went in. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. Like the media is disgusting, bro. Stop. Why are you trying to slate the guy, man?
You,
Just for
you, you,
clickbait.
the other thing though, yeah, because you mentioned something. You said, how do we still expect him to be the same? But Kingsley, the problem is in the Piers Morgan interview, Ronaldo is the one that said there is no other player who's the best player in the world who would accept me on the bench. Ronaldo is the one that still thinks he's the best player in the world. We're just looking at him according to how he looks at himself, bro. And you know
We had
what?
this
Yeah,
debate. We had this
all
debate last
banter
week.
aside, yeah, all banter aside. I heard, I heard before the game. My brother told me before the game Ronaldo dropped. I was like, no way, because I was thinking obviously the first game he scored a penalty, which to be fair was not a penalty. By the way, the penalties that Messi and Ronaldo have been given in this World Cup, dodgy penalties, bro. I don't know what they're trying to do. Maybe they're trying to set up the whole Argentina Portugal final. The World Cup has been exciting enough that we don't need that to save the tournament. So let's put all that to bed. But they've been given some dodgy penalties. Obviously, he scores a penalty against Ghana. Against Uruguay, he tried to steal the goal. It's Bruno's goal. Like, let's not play around. It's Bruno's goal.
Once they tried to steal the goal, he's just trying to head it, bro. That's what he's there to do.
I mean, he tried to head it, he missed it, and then
I think it's more the fact that he tried to claim it, which was what was
yeah, he tried to claim it. But nah, in the South Korea game, I was so shocked to see that he started because I just thought, nah, he's 37. They're through to the knockout stages. Surely he's not going to ask to start, or surely he wouldn't want to start.
you know what? He's got Ronaldo for penalties, isn't it? He's got Ronaldo for penalties though.
Yeah. No, he's got Ronaldo for penalties, but for me, that game against South Korea, I think he played in it because he felt like he needed to score, like he wants to score goals in it, and obviously headed into the Switzerland game. Give Portugal credit because this was an upset prediction. People predicted Switzerland to like be so resolute defensively that Portugal would be
Yeah,
able
they
to break
normally
them
are. Though. They
down.
normally are. Switzerland normally hard to break down, so it was a bit of a shock.
Yeah, no, they usually are, but we all know in these tournaments, man, the first goal opens everything up. Like,
Yeah, and they got the
and
first goal early.
that goal was a beautiful finish, bro.
The first
Like,
goal was too. The first goal was too early as well. That's the problem.
yeah, that guy, he slapped it, bro. Like that ball,
It was a good
bro.
finish.
If there was no net there, the ball would have kept traveling, bro. That he
Yeah, no, it was. It
slapped that
was.
fam. Like the keeper had no chance, no time to react, and then all of a sudden,
Yeah, the
Switzerland have to open
floodgates.
up now. They had to open up, and in opening up, they left themselves exposed. And Portugal, with the combination, because I don't think Bruno was that great, even though he's had a decent tournament. But with Felix, Otavio, Ramos, and Dallo, my guy Dallo, bench. The manager benched Cancelo for Dallo, by the way.
Yeah, Zalo played well, man. It was a
Um,
good assist from him as well.
yeah, they all played well. Obviously, Leao coming off the bench got his as well.
Yeah, Leao was looking dangerous, man.
Ronaldo came off the bench as well, scored a goal that was offside. But
Nah,
no,
Leao looks hard, man.
yeah, no, Portugal have depth. And
Where's Bernardo Silva at?
oh yeah, he played as well. Yeah, he played. He
Yeah,
started
he's
as well. Yeah,
quiet, man. I haven't heard much talk about him, man. He's quietly
yeah.
been.
Statistically, he hasn't pulled up any trees, but he's been steady. But what would be interesting now? Does he start Ronaldo against Morocco?
You can't.
Are you sure?
No, you can't. You can't.
Because for me, it depends on his reason for dropping Ronaldo. Because I heard it was disciplinary.
Disciplining. What's this guy doing now,
Because
bro? What's he
no, because apparently, like
smoking fags in the back?
Ronaldo acted out of character when he got subbed off against South Korea. So his punishment was getting dropped for the Switzerland game. That's what I heard.
I mean, if that's the
But,
case, I rate that because as a
no,
coach, I'll do the same thing.
but then if that's the case, does he then come back in now? Because he's had his punishment now.
He had his punishment, but however, that the coach was not expecting the replacement to bag a hattie
The
in his
Vagahati, yeah.
first attempt. So it's mad. But yo, listen, time is cutting. We'll quickly do the predictions for the quarters. We did Netherlands, Argentina already. We both basically going for Argentina. Croatia, Brazil. What are you saying?
Brazil will edge it. It'll probably be like 2-1, 1-0.
I'm gonna say Croatia. I'm gonna say that's gonna be the upset of the quarterfinals.
So you don't want us to see the Brazil Argentina thing?
No, I'd rather see Portugal, Argentina. To be honest,
Oh, bro,
I don't want to see Brazil. I don't want to see
Argentina.
Brazil, Argentina, bro. I see that every time it's Copa America. G. I don't want to see that, bro.
Brazil Argentina is that's like football heritage, bro. How can we
No,
not see
bro.
that?
No, I'll just wait for the Copa America again because they're the only teams that get there. I don't want to see them in the World Cup final, bro. Big man thing.
Semi-final,
In the
semi-final.
semi-final, okay, cool. But in a World Cup final, I want one team from Europe, one team from America because they're the only. Realistically, I'm not gonna want anyone from Asia and no African nations getting there. So that's what I want. Uh, whatever team it's gonna be, it's either gonna be England or France. It's either gonna be Argentina, or Brazil. We know that. We actually know that. But yeah, I'm saying Croatia in it because I just want to be different, and I like Croatia. I think they're very underrated, and they just silently get about their business, and they could turn up that game. They know what Brazil are going to be on, and they'll play their experience. The experience might overdo Brazil because Brazil. I know how Brazil have a blend of youth and experience in their team, but I feel like Brazil are only dangerous in the final third.
Mm. I mean, to be fair though, Casemiro has been their player of the tournament so far, by the way.
Yeah, but if your DM's been your player of the tournament, that's not a good thing.
But what that means is they've also been quite solid defensively.
I don't know.
Thiago Silva is having a great tournament as well.
I mean, it's Thiago Silva in it. He's just an anomaly at that age as well. I don't know. I just feel like this Croatia team can touch Brazil.
I don't know, man. We'll see. We'll see right
See,
there.
Friday's coming, man. Friday's coming. England, France. Can't lie.
Woo, that's the big one.
Sorry,
That's the tie of the
Free
round.
Lion supporters. Yeah, 100%. Sorry, Lion supporters, but you're not beating France.
I'm going for an England win, bro.
I'm going for a French win.
I'm going for an England win. England are going to take Mbappe out.
I think Southgate's got to finals of his last three major tournaments, and he'll be well respected. And this will be his last one. He'll lose to France, and then he'll get the nod on the head. And Tuchel will come in. Nah, as much as I'd love to see England get through, don't get me wrong, just because in terms of Arsenal players, they're not playing Saliba, so I got to rep Saka. Um, yeah, I want to see that. I want to see England go through, but bro, I feel like I don't know what Harry Maguire. I know he plays good for England, but he hasn't been tested, bro. Everyone's England haven't been tested like that yet. Their harshest test was USA, and they fumbled it. So let's just remember, let's just remember, yeah, they haven't been tested like that. And this is not just a test. This is not a Switzerland test. This is not you know what I mean. This is a test. This is the World Cup winners. This is the best you can test. So I don't know. It's gonna be a exciting game. Like
It should be. It should be. Yeah.
Saturday 7 o'clock is
Yeah.
lit. It's gonna be a mad game, but I don't know. What do you? Oh, obviously you said England. And then lastly, we'll wrap up Morocco, Portugal.
This is where I'm predicting an upset.
This is your upset.
This is my upset because
Okay.
I don't think England beating France is an upset because I think
No. Remember, my upset was Croatia.
yeah no just in general I think man for man England probably have slightly a better squad overall. But yeah, this is my upset. I think people might call me crazy considering Portugal just spliffed Switzerland by scoring 6, but I don't know if does the manager start Ronaldo. That's my thing.
I don't think he's going to now because he saw. Come on, man! You can't take a player off and then score 6 and then put him back on.
I think Morocco somehow do it, bro. Ziyech rise, fam.
I think it's going to be a tight game because Morocco is solid defensively, but I feel like Portugal are going to edge that one. Cheeky little 2-0, cheeky little Ronaldo penalty in the 85th minute after he comes off the bench, and then they'll probably score in the 93rd, like a Bruno Fernandes deflection. He'll shoot from like 30 yards and he'll deflect twice and top bins. But no, quarterfinals. This quarterfinals is good. This quarterfinals, every game is exciting. The round of 16 didn't excite me too much because it was quite top heavy, but this is quite balanced in terms of teams and form. This is very balanced, and I'm really excited for it. And it's going to be so interesting to see who gets into the semis. This is a lit World Cup. As much as I hate that it happened now when like it's in Qatar and all the BS, in terms of football, it's actually a lit World Cup, and I'm really excited.
I agree.
100. Obviously, guys, it's been a bit of a long one today because it was a bit behind. But thank you for tuning in. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Please get the likes up, guys. Let's try to get up to 15 likes, and we'll keep going from there. It's not much to ask for. But let's get the channel out there. Yeah, man. Everyone, keep enjoying the World Cup. I would say we'll meet again on a certain date, but unfortunately, we have team members like Matt, so it could be today, could be next week, could even be next
We
year.
can meet on next Wednesday.
By the time we meet again, Pulisic could be in form. We just don't know what's gonna happen. So, no, I'm playing. But yeah, man, it's been 620 podcast. Stay blessed.